next segment features Elizabeth Montgomery, an award-winning journalist and a survivor. She's also my friend. I can't even play. Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for sharing your story with anybody that will listen.
Yes, thank you for having me, and I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah. So you have a very unique story because you experienced homelessness and you did it all while you were in college. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, so long story short, I graduated high school, and my mom was like, "You're 18, you gotta go." So she put all my stuff in trash bags and threw it outside of the house, outside of the garage, and I piled up my car, and I lived in my car off and on for 3 years while going to school at the same time. So I was sleeping in the parking lot of my college and going to school. So that was the long story short version. And let's try to get through this without crying. So
Well, good luck with that. And it's okay. Tears are okay because you cried a lot of them. Now you're happy. You have a smile on your face, and you're a survivor. And you're always sharing your story because there's so much power in your story. How did you survive that time in your life? Because college is already hard enough. Let's be honest. And then to not have the support of family, to have your mom toss you out, and then to have to live in your car and not have shelter or love or support. How did you get through that?
honestly, I'm still getting through it. As a 35-year-old woman, it was a lot that I went through in that time, and I'm still kind of healing. I know y'all talked earlier about having, plans for the future for, youth and places for women to go. And I think that's so important because I didn't have that as a youth growing up with no support. I don't even know how I got through it at some point because I call it autopilot. I was just, coasting. And I say it's just God was leading me. He had a plan for me, and it wasn't the plan to go down the wrong path. I went to college. I didn't have anywhere to live, so I was just sleeping in my car. And I guess when you're in that situation, it's like, what else can you do? It's like going to school was kind of like my safe space, and it gave me a chance to meet people and learn things and just have somewhere to go, so I wasn't in my car at the same time. So it's just been kind of a process that's still ongoing, and I don't even know how I survived it, but I just give all the props to God because I didn't have any control. I was just trying to make it to the next day at some point. So,
And how did that time in your life impact your mental health?
it impacted it a lot, and I'm still, like I said, trying to learn how to process things, learn how to, just be a woman because I wasn't taught how to do a lot of things. And just being a journalist, living in this industry is a lot I'm learning currently, even just leaving the industry, and I'm learning it all on my own. So there's nobody, in my background telling me, oh, you should do this, or this will help you, or you should be like this. I'm just trying to figure it out on my own. And my mental health has definitely struggled, and I've kind of spent a lot of time by myself trying to figure out who I am and what my thoughts are about life and just my mental health in general. And I need to start going to therapy. I haven't done that yet, but I will.
Well, we're all trying to figure it out. Yeah. That's for sure. We've all experienced some type of trauma, and we're all surviving something. So know that you're not alone in that. One of the big things that STIIR Project is all about is providing support for young adults who don't have it. What would you say to other young people, students, college students who are experiencing homelessness and other abuse and trauma or feel abandoned?
I would say ask for help because I didn't. And I went through that whole struggle by myself on my own and didn't reach out to anybody because I guess, I don't know, it might have been my ego, but I didn't want to be that person asking for money or can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? Because I needed help, but I didn't want to ask for it. and I didn't know where to ask for it at some times. So for anyone out there who is going through homelessness or, you know, on the brink of, ask for that help, ask someone, tell someone. And I always like lean on this Zora Neale Hurston quote that if you don't speak about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. So I don't want to go through life not saying how I feel, because if you don't say something, nobody's gonna know, and you're just there by yourself trying to work through. Yeah.
Well, as a journalist, you give a voice to not only yourself, but to your community. And you've been featured in USA Today. You have your own blog that we follow. Actually, before we get to the question, why don't you tell us your blog and the...
Yes, well, you can find me anywhere, emontwrites.com, and I write about my personal experiences through homelessness and just trying to recover from that. I do a hashtag from homeless to happy, and it's a journey. I'm just trying to find happiness because for years I was so unhappy. So it's just a journey. So come on this journey with me. And
Yes, I'll follow. And I mean, you're such a ray of sunshine. And even on your, social media and that type of thing, just watching you discover life and flourish it's an amazing journey that you're on. Now, a part of that journey is the fact that you have been featured in publications like USA Today. You have Imanti Writes. You're a journalist. You give a voice to the voiceless, and you use your voice to create change. One of your articles, you talk about the homelessness you experienced in college, and like you said, from homeless to happy. You call your friends your lifesavers in that article. How did they help save your life?
yes,
It's okay.
When you're homeless, and I'm pretty sure if you're out there watching, the next day isn't promised. You don't know what you're going to eat tonight. You don't know where you can take a shower. You don't know if, what's going to happen to you. So just having those friends, and I only met them through college and through different classes, and mainly one of my Japanese class, because I wanted to learn how to speak Japanese. And they were my lifesavers because they didn't know I was homeless, or they didn't know my situation, but they wanted to hang out with me. They wanted to invite me over to their house, and sometimes I'd stay the night with them, or they would buy me dinner sometimes. So it wasn't like I had to ask for help. They just took me in and embraced me and embraced who I was. And they understood when I couldn't do certain things because I didn't have money or something like that. But I didn't have to. I probably should have told them what was happening, and maybe that would have helped me a little bit more, but I didn't say anything. But they still embraced me and gave me the love that I didn't have. And just coming off of like your mom putting you out, the person who's supposed to love you and take care of you, and for women,
It's okay.
thank you. For women to embrace me like that, I was very thankful, and that doesn't happen too often because I don't know, as you get older, it's harder to make friends and things like that. But just having them there in my corner without having to be just being me, I felt seen. I was seen in that moment by them, and I thank them every day. And some of them, we don't even talk that much anymore, but they were there for me when I really felt by myself and nobody saw me, not even my mom. So, yeah, thank you.
Well, Sierra talked about being seen and loved, and that's the point of the scholarship, right? So why is it so important for these young adults to feel seen?
We're not typically seen at all by anyone. If you're homeless, even people out who are homeless today in Phoenix, people want to help them. Let's throw some money at them, and that's it. But organizations like STIIR, who actually want to take the time to invest in women and young adults who are going through homelessness, I think that's super important, because the world doesn't care at the end of the day. And for 2-3 women who took the time out of their life to say, let's stop that and really be there for these people, that is very important and it's needed, because like I said, when you're homeless, you've lost relationships. People have put you throwing you away, and you don't feel seen. And if you do feel seen, you feel seen for the reason that you're a terrible person. And for somebody to see you and want to invest in you and want you to be the best that you can be, I think I don't know how more important that can be.
Elizabeth Montgomery, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for sharing your story. I want you to look into that camera right there. Folks at home, this is the face of not only a survivor, but a woman who is thriving.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you, and I love you so much. And I'm so happy that you're here to tell your story. And this is just the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you.
Just the beginning. So thank you for the work that you do, and thank you for being you.
Thank you. You too.